Michelle was my student before Barack. She was here in 1985, my first year teaching here at Harvard, and she impressed me as a phenomenal woman with brilliance, with good judgment, with character. She was what we call a public interest lawyer here. She represented poor people in legal services cases as a student. And I was convinced from the moment I saw her, she's going to keep her promise to her dad, who was a union man, who never went to college, but made sure Craig and Michelle went. And she was, to me, the person who's going to be the first African-American woman to be in a national office like that. And then Barack comes 3 years later. They never met here.
Right.
She graduated in '88, and he came in the fall of '88 after she graduated. And he was just a star, because he was just smart. I mean, smarter than anybody else around. And it wasn't just smart in terms of being the first black president of the Harvard Law Review, but Professor Larry Tribe, my colleague, had him in his constitutional law class, and he said, "This is the best student I've ever had." Larry's been teaching for over 30 years. He's been responsible for educating Supreme Court justices, Circuit Court justices, CEOs, and he saw Barack as someone exceptional. That was my judgment as well. And the funny thing about Barack is that as brilliant as he was someone who was always down to earth too, whether he's playing basketball with the boys over at the Hemingway Gym, or sitting listening to the OJs or the Temptations talk to folks about soul music. He was always down to earth. And I thought this guy's going to be great. In fact, I was convinced he was going to be so good, this was going to be the greatest mayor in the history of America.
Man.
I said, mayor, but that's what I thought, because he's a hands-on guy. And I started seeing him after he graduated, because he used his Harvard connections to raise funds when he ran for state senate. He used it when he ran for the U.S. Senate, and I supported him then, and I've been working for him since February 2007, going around the country talking to groups, lawyers, law students, clergy, small business leaders, community organizers. And I have to tell you that on November 4th, I was in Harlem watching to see how the voting went. And it wasn't just the tears, but it was the satisfaction that America had recognized what I saw 20 years ago. Here is the man ready to lead. He had the talent and the ability, and he did it in a way that was his way. He was never too high, he was never too low, he was always steady. Whether Reverend Wright, whether the comments about bitter, poor, working class people, whether the challenges, whether or not he was a Muslim. I mean, every day there was something new. Bill Ayers, but every single time Barack stayed focused and steady, and I was very pleased to see November 4th come and for him to be elected as the next president of the United States of America.